Hey, thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this adorable Wild Rose Studios image called Santa and Rudolph. Aren't they cute? I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. So I've already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. So let's color. So let's start out by doing a quick outline around our image with C0. And I'm going to start right here in between the reindeer's legs so I don't forget those. And then let's do a little bit between Santa's legs here. And then we'll just quickly go clear around our image and back over to the other side. And if you do it first, that way if you get some on your images and you want to erase it, you can use your colorless blender to push it off. I usually, if I get it on there, I just leave it. It's not too dark, so it doesn't usually mess with the colors I'm going to put on. Unless it is, then I would definitely take it off of there. Let's go all the way back around over here. And right to there. Let's give Rudolph and Santa something to stand on with W1, W0, and W00. I'm going to start with W1. And I'm just going to lightly sketch around his feet, do a little bit around the list, and over to this side. And then I'm going to add some W0 to that. And bring it up a little bit past our feet there. And then go over that with W00. And I'm just going to quickly go over the entire area. And then I'm going to go back with my W1 and just add a little bit more dark in there. Now let's do Santa's skin and their cheeks and Rudolph's nose. For that we're going to use E53, E51, E50, and then for their cheeks and noses we're going to use R43, R20, and R30. For his face, let's start with E53. I'm going to start with my E53 and I'm going to brush it just a little bit around this bow and up into around kind of like a little C around his cap here. And then I'm going to go with E51. I want to touch down on top of that 53. And I bring this a little bit around the other side of his nose. And then I'm going to fill it in with E50. Okay, and then let's give him a little bit of cheeks. So let's do R43. And I'm going to give him a little bit of cheek color right here. And then let's do a little bit of cheek color over here. Next, let's add some R20. So I'm going to touch down on top of my 43 and bring that around here. And then let's add a dab of R30. And I'm going to swirl over the side here just a little bit. And I think I'll go back on this side and add a little bit more of my R43 over here. Kind of erase it a little bit. And I'll go back with my R20. And just a dab of my R30. And I'm going to leave his face like that. And we're going to add some color to their nose. So grab R43 again. And I'm going to do a little bit on this side. And then for Rudolph, let's do like this. And then you grab R20. And then fill it in with your R30. I'm going to brush clear across just to soften all those colors together. And I think I want to make it just a little bit redder or pinker, so I'm going to do my R43 again. R20. And then R30. Next, let's do Rudolph and Santa's bag. For that, we're going to use E37, 35, 33, 34, 31, and 30. And let's start up here by doing Santa's bag with E37. So I'm going to take that and just go down right next to his body. Curve it around over here. Then we'll grab E35. E33. And E33's got a little bit of red in it, so I'm going to brush over the last two colors just to add that in. E34. E31. And this one's got a little bit of a brownish grayish tone, so I'm going to just brush over the entire thing with that. And then lastly, we'll do E30 to fill it in. I think I want to make this bag a little bit darker, so I'm going to go ahead and grab, I'm going to start over, so I'm going to do E37. E35. E33, E34, E31, and then E30 just to brush over the entire thing. That looks pretty good. Let's go over here and do Rudolph. So again, I'm going to start with E37. Let's start up here on his antlers. So E37 right here, and then on this back side, and the back of this one, and then this one, let's do over here. And this one. And then we'll go with E35. And we're not going to use all of the colors on his antlers. We want those to be a little bit darker. E33. And then E34 to fill it in. Unless I have a little bit left. Let me go over the next color here just in case. I don't know if I can E31 just to go over the entire thing. Okay, and let's go down here and we'll do his face. So again, I'm going to grab E37. I'm going to do a little dab of that right in here for his ear, and then over here on this ear. And then we're going to go with E35. And I think I'll bring this around over here on this side of his face. And maybe just a little dab over to his scarf there. Oh, and don't forget his nose. Here. Next we're going to do E33. And did I do a little bit up here on his nose? Just a little dab of that on his nose. Next we're going to have E34. And I'm going to brush this over the last two colors. Bring that around some more. And then it's E31. And then E30 to fill it in. And I'm just going to go around on here because I know I'm going to need to go add some more here. I'm just going to brush right around here, scrub a little bit on his ear. Okay, now I'm going to go back with E33. Just get it wet again. And then E34. E31. I'm going to bring this closer to his nose on this side. And then E30 to fill this section in again. I'm going to use this to brush over his entire face. Okay, and I think I'll leave him like that for his face. Now let's go down here and do his body. So again, I'm going to grab E37. Now let's start down here on his leg. I'm going to do the inside of this leg. And let's do a little bit in here underneath of his scarf. Then we'll grab E35 next. His legs. And then let's start with our color up here. Okay. Then we'll go with E33. I'm going to fill in right here on the inside of his chest, and then I'm just going to add some color. Work my way around that line, and maybe bring a little bit underneath of his arm there. next is E34. Let's go ahead and fill in most of his leg down here. And then again, we're just going to go right around this circle or oblong shape here. Add some color. E31's next. Let's go ahead and fill in his leg all the way. And I'm going to go over the entire leg just to smush it all together. Whoops, I got a little bit on his hoof there, but that's okay, because we are going to color that black. And then E30 to fill it the rest of the way in. And I'm going to use this to brush over his entire body. And I think I'll go back again with E34. Let's add a little bit of color in there. E31. And then again with my E30 to kind of swoosh it all together. So next, let's do their feet, Rudolph's feet and Santa's boots. For that, we're going to use W9, W7, and W5. And let's start here on Rudolph's foot up here by the list with our W9. And we'll do a little bit down here on his hoof down here. And then for this side, and next we'll go W7. And then W5 to fill it in. And we'll go up here and do Santa's boots. So again, we're going to grab W9. And I'm going to go down the edge next to the list. And we'll do the back. And I'm going to do underneath under the sole here. On this side, we'll do that. Come around here and do a little bit under the sole. Around the back. We got W7 next. And W5 to go over the entire thing. And then let's also do Santa's belt. So I'm going to grab W9. A little dab of color here under his hand. W7. And W5 to fill that in. And he's got a little bit between his buckle that's showing right here that I'm going to give that a little dab of color. Now let's work on his belt buckle and the bows on the packages. For that, we're going to use Y28, Y26, and Y23. I'm going to start with Y28 down here on his belt buckle. And then for the packages, let's do little dabs here and there. And then we'll go with Y26. A little bit more, and then we'll fill it in with Y23. Now let's work on the scarf and the leaves in Santa's hat. For that we're going to use YG 99, 95, and 93. I'm going to start up here on Santa's holly with YG 99, and I'm just going to draw right over the top of those lines that are already on there. And then I'm going to go over it with YG 95. And then YG 93. And then we'll go down here and do Rudolph's scarf. So again, I'm going to use YG 99 first. Let's do a little bit underneath of his chin, and we'll just bring this color down like that. Same for this side. Let's bring a little bit of color down in here. And then I want to outline this line that's in the middle of his scarf. And I guess I better do a little bit over here beside Santa's beard. Then we'll grab YG 95. Add a little bit more color. Go over that last color to soften it. And then YG 93 to fill it in. Let's add a little bit of color to the fur. For that we're going to use C00. And I'm not going to do anything too technical. I'm just going to flick it along the sides here, kind of bring it around into the hat. And then for his beard, let's do a little bit here on the underneath where it's touching everything. And just a little bit of fur right here, ball on the hat, and let's do this. And then I'm just going to leave the rest of it white. Now let's do Santa's list. For that we're going to use C1, C0, and C00. I'm going to start out with my C1. And let's give a little bit of shade underneath where it's folded over here. And then underneath here where it's falling onto the back. And then I'm going to do a little bit, give it a little bit of a wrinkle right here in the front. That, and then let's do the same thing down here. Let's swoosh this up a little bit. And along the bottom of this line there, or the folded up piece. Then I'm going to grab C0 next. And I'm going to go over that last color. And then C00 to finish that off. And I didn't necessarily color it all the way in. There's still some white on there. I just used this last color to soften the whole edges and the rest of the last two colors. For the first package that's behind here, this little one over here, we're going to use B00, BG000, and B000. I'm going to start with my B00. I'm going to do a little bit here along the edge of the ribbon. And then I'm going to grab BG000 and go over just a little bit over that. And then I'm going to take B000 and go over the entire blue area. For the second package, we're going to use BV13 and BV02. So I'm going to start with my BV13, and we're going to just dab a little bit next to that ribbon. Bring it out here along the bottom. Same for this side. And then I'll grab BVO2 to fill it in. I think I'll make it a little bit more purple, so I'm going to go back again with my BV13 and pull it out here a little bit more. Make it a little bit darker. And then my BVO2 for a second time to fill it in. Alright, so that leaves us with the red. That's going to be R29, R17, R08, R14, and R32. I'm going to start down here on the bottom with R29. A little dab next to that sheet. Here. Let's do another up here and underneath of his belt. Around that fur. And for his arm, we're going to add a little bit down here. Oh, and his glove. And I'm going to do a little dab there on his thumb. And then, and here's a little bit of his coat showing, like that. And then we're going to go with R17. And we're just going to add some more color. R08, and if you run out of space before you get to the end of the colors, that's okay. Sometimes I end up having more room than I think the first time through, and then the second time when I go back to do it again, I have used way more color, so I run out of room. And next is R14. Leave a little bit of space there for my pink. And then R32 to fill in the whole area. So I'm going to swirl it over the whole red that I colored. There, like that. And let's go up here and we'll do his hat. So again, I'm going to grab R29. And let's, oh, and he's got a couple of berries here too. Let's color those in on his holly there on his hat before I forget about him. And then for his hat, let's go right along here. And then I'm going to bring it up to connect over here. This holly leaf. I want to give it a couple little wrinkles. So let's bring this line up and bring it up like this. And how about right here? And then next is R17. So I'm just going to go right over the top of that last color. And I'm just going to widen it a little bit more. R08's next. Same thing. I just want to go over those last colors. And widen it a little bit more. And then we'll go with R14. I'm going to bring this one up pretty far. Turn him a little bit here. And then R32 to fill it in. I think I will take R08 and just add a little bit more of that. Darken it up just a little bit. And then R14 over the top of that. And then again with my R32. So there is our adorable Santa and Rudolph all colored up. And then again, here is the finished card. So on my finished card, I added some Sharpie white paint pen to the packages. Made some little dots of my own there. And then I added a couple of dots on their noses and down here on their boots. And that was all the sparkles I used. Amazing. Usually I put a bunch of other stuff on there, but not this time. And then the cinnamon, I stamped this for you. It's from the new Tim Holtz Crazy Talk cinnamon set. You can buy that extra in the store if you want, but I did stamp this little cinnamon for you. If you hate that cinnamon, you could flip the tag over and stamp whatever you want on the other side and use it. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.